All right, Tristan, let's start with the big question. First and foremost, why was Arizona State the right place for you?
There's a lot of great answers for that question. I would say probably the number one is, it's in my hometown. I've been, living here for 17 years now. My dad also went to ASU, and he played football there. And, now it's just like me stepping in his footsteps, but also my own, just, doing what I want to do, and not just because my dad went there. I feel like it's just the best spot for me, linebacker wise. I feel like they're going to build me into a great linebacker, and they tell me that every time. And I really do believe that. And that's why I want to be there and be a Sun Devil.
You mentioned you're following in your father's footsteps. An ASU legacy. What are the thoughts of just pretty soon you'll be playing in the same stadium that your dad did.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. People tell me that all the time. And I'm like, yeah, it's a blessing. Gotta thank God.
So obviously, this is a staff that since they got here a couple years ago has really kind of placed a priority on local players activating the valley. Obviously, as they like to say, what's it like just seeing that staff led by Kenny Dillingham and just really the program as a whole that is placing a priority on local guys, local Arizona players.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Them showing love to Arizona players and taking chances on them. Like me, I was very blessed to be able to to get to talk to Coach Dillingham and be in his office. And he was telling me great things about me, and I was very appreciative about that. Even Coach Coop been it wasn't like he called and they offered. It was like they've been in contact with me. Building a relationship, and it was pretty good, pretty great from there.
So throughout the process and getting to know Kenny Dillingham, obviously one of the youngest coaches in the entire country, but a guy who likes to blend hard work with having fun. What's your read on Kenny Dillingham as the leader of a major college football program?
Yeah, it's great. It's great seeing him become the coach that he is. From also being from Arizona, and he's building ASU to be an even better program than what it was last year. It's just amazing for him to be able to build ASU that was kind of an okay program to now being 7-2, and they're beating pretty good teams, and it's pretty good to see and how they're building players and having fun, but also putting in that work. And that's exactly what college football is. And it's very cool to see that from Coach Dillingham.
Of course, in the next year, he'll be playing for AJ Cooper, and obviously the ASU linebackers are collectively having a pretty strong season, leading the this Sun Devil defense. What's your read so far on Coach Cooper, and what are the things that really kind of jump out to you about your future position coach?
Yeah, Coach Coop is awesome. He's an awesome guy. I talk to him, not daily, but every once in a while, and we call and we talk about, not just football. We talk about, how I'm doing, how he's doing, his family, my family, and we sit down, have a conversation, just a regular conversation as a coach to a player, and that's why I appreciate him for that, because he looks for the person first, not the player. And that's one of the big things for me, and I saw that very quickly. And Coach Coop, he's just a great coach. I went to the camp back in, I think, June, somewhere around that time, and I was doing my drills and stuff, and he was coaching me. And then and I looked back at it, and I was like, wow, I was like, that I can actually see him as my coach, my position coach, and getting better from him and from that.
And so you touched on it a little bit ago. Sun Devils in the midst of a very strong season. Currently controlling basically their destiny to make a run at the Big 12 title game, possible college football playoff spot as well. What's it like just seeing your future program have that level of success right now?
It's great. It's great. Every day I feel like I made the best decision in my life. Every more, and it's just great for me to be able in that position to where I can say that I'm going to play for that team. Next year, next summer. And I'm just very, very, very blessed and very appreciative for this opportunity.
So throughout the process and getting to know, kind of being around the program, of course, being a local and being able to see things up close, and of course, kind of getting to know the coaching staff, the players. What's your kind of view and your read on the team culture that Kenny Dillingham and his staff has put in place here?
The team culture is very, like, I see it as brotherhood. That's what Coach Coop talks to me about, that they're brothers, and not just the linebackers, the whole team, that everybody has each other's back. Someone's on the ground, they go and help them up after each play. It's not, never heated. They don't ever have, same-sided fights on the team. It's always just, great. It's a great, culture to be at ASU, and I just can't wait to be a part of that, and to be with my new team, and for them to welcome me, also, and feel comfortable with being there.
So I believe that you kind of got a late start into playing football a little bit, even though your dad a football player in his own right. What was kind of how you initially got into the game of football that obviously is taking you to some pretty big places now?
Yeah. I don't really know. I always liked football, and then I guess my freshman year I was like, I'm gonna go out and play and see what happens. And my freshman year, I obviously did not think that I was, going to be in this position. I wasn't that good at all. Freshman year, it was my first year. Couldn't really, read anything. I was just a freshman player. And the years, more and more came on. I was like, wow, I actually love football, and this is where it got me. So yeah.
When did you get a sense that that things kind of clicked and maybe this sport can take me places?
I think it was my sophomore year. In my sophomore year is when I went out to a showcase, and I was doing stuff with my team, and then I got offered by NAU as a sophomore, and then I was like, wow, I was like, maybe I can do something with this, and then I kept on pushing it, kept on grinding, and then this is what happens.
Now, of course, what's it like just being having the success that you and your team have had, and also of course getting on your way to a Power Four program and basically kind of repping the West Side of Valley football. I used to play at Moon Valley, so I'm kind of a little West Side as well. So what's it like? Just obviously so a lot of schools in the East Side of town get a lot of the rep and attention, but what's it like? Just keeping things real for the folks out west.
Yeah, it's great. It's great for Kellis. I always talk good about Kellis because I'm always going to be a Kellis Cougar. I've been here for all my 4 years, never transferred, and never thought about transferring. People always tell me, or they used to tell me, they would say, Tristan, why don't you just go out and go somewhere else? You'll get more looks, more offers, stuff like that. And then I would just be like, man, if you got talent, they're going to find you. So and that's what I believed in, and that's what I stuck with. But no, my team it's really cool to see where they came from. From being 5-4 and then having 27 losses for 3 years. It's really cool to be seeing them now as 10-1 now, and we're in the playoffs round two against some really good football teams. It's pretty cool to see them start from zero, and now we're making our way up. Climbing that mountain. Make the climb is our motto, Coach Cullis. So yeah.
For any Sun Devil fans out there who might not have caught you in action for Kellis or senior film, give our audience a self-scouting report. What are the things that you bring to a football field?
Things that I bring to a football field, I think I'm a leader. I'm a leader on my football team. There's about 7 of us, and I'm one of them, and I'm very proud to be one of them. I also wrestle, so I feel like I have a very determined mindset, and you can see that in my film that, if I see a hole that I can shoot, make that tackle, you see me that I'm going to get that tackle, and I'm not going to miss it. And I feel like that I'm very disciplined when I play. It's like if I mess up, I forget about it, short-term memory loss, and go to the next play. And you can see me never fighting the ref. Hey, what happened with this call? But I'm just a very disciplined player, and I'm very coachable too. I'm very coachable. You can see that if I mess up in the game or I make a mistake, watch film on it, my coach give me right, and I go back out there, and then that mistake's gone. I'm very disciplined, I have to say.
So you mentioned wrestling, and so that a lot of great Sun Devil defenders from decades past and to the present day have a wrestling background, especially playing a position like linebacker. How impactful has that wrestling experience maybe crossed over to playing defense?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great. I've been doing this mixed martial arts since I was 4. My dad put me in there, and my wrestling coach, his name's GT. He also wrestled at Arizona State, and he was he was in the lineup. He was a starter. And it's very cool to see that correlation from wrestling to football. Seeing getting low aim point, shooting eyes through thighs. It's really cool. So I would say if you play football, you should also wrestle because it helps you out with a lot of things.
So ultimately, a year from now, when you're running out of that Tillman Tunnel to the stadium that your dad once played in, what's what's it going to mean to you? What do you feel like, kind of the feeling in that moment and thoughts in your head?
It's gonna mean a lot. It's gonna mean a lot. I'm gonna forget I'm gonna remember everything that got me here. My school, my teammates, my coaches, my family. My Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I'm gonna remember all that, and I'm not gonna become Hollywood or anything like that. I'll always be humble, towards my peers and everyone that helped me, and I'm always gonna be disciplined, and I'm gonna be just a good person.